What's going on, baby? How we doing today? I get asked a lot about my poker journey, about how I can be a Christian and still play poker, about the lessons poker has taught me, how much I'm up, biggest pots, all these questions. I get these a lot now on social. And I know a lot of people are into poker, even people that don't play a lot. It's just a fun game for a lot of guys to have home games and friends. And so I do get asked this quite a bit, how I've been able to change my life quite a bit playing poker, how I got good at poker. I'll give you a few lessons I've definitely learned along the way because of poker. I think poker's an amazing game. It's something I've been really blessed to have a natural talent for, and then also to work very hard at my whole life, and it's definitely changed my life. So kind of want to get into it a little bit. Growing up, I played with my grandfather. This is some of the best memories of my life, sitting on his lap. We played spades, we played rum, we played all these games, 5-card draw stuff, and I was always thinking about strategy, talking about it with him. And then my dad hosted a weekly game too. He'd have buddies over. It was like quarter and 50 cent. Maybe the dollar was the big bets. And nobody's going broke in these games. It was more just like 7-8 buddies, just maybe having a couple drinks, having a good time together. It was like a social aspect. But I can remember my dad bringing me out, and I got to sit on his lap and kind of learn some of the strategies, talk with him. My dad's a very smart guy, strategic thinker too, and so. That was just growing up. That was kind of normal. That's the way I thought about things, I think poker's definitely helped me to develop that. Even as I've gotten older, I've been able to just see certain things from a different kind of angle. And hey, things aren't always what they seem. You got limited information. You make the best possible decision you can. You kind of live with the outcome. You can't control everything. Poker kind of teaches you a lot of these lessons, which I really enjoy. I got really good in college, to be honest. Me and my high school buddies played a lot, and then in college, I deposited $60 in an online poker site called PokerStars back in the day. And I think within a couple months, I had made $500 or $600 just playing like penny games, teaching myself. I used that to hire a coach. Soros, I don't know where this guy is now, man. It was like 16 years ago, 18 years ago, something. But he was a big online player back then. He coached me for a couple hours, and then we became buddies, and he even helped me more beyond that. But just kind of changing the way I thought about poker and the game and things like that back then. I bought a bunch of books. I spent hours and hours, hundreds of hours studying, memorizing every statistic that you could, and put a lot of work into this, and then just put the reps in. At this point, I think I'm up close to 1.8 million in my life playing poker. This is over an 18-year span. Still continue to make money month after month doing this, and that's because you put the work in. At this point, I played 15, 16 million hands, probably studied 1,000 hours, plus. And so, to be good at anything, you got to put in the work. That's just part of it. I get all the time, oh, you're just lucky to be good at this game. Well, what luck looks like is usually you're prepared and you put yourself in those spots to do that. So, I see a lot of people, I want to be good at poker, and they maybe play for a few weeks or whatnot. I want to be good at social media. They try it for a few weeks. I want to get in shape. They try it for a month. To be good at anything, you got to make your mind up. Hey, I'm going to pay the price for this. Everything has a cost, right? And so to be really good at anything, you got to pay the price. For me, that price was, a few less parties early on in college when I was just addicted to poker. Like there's no other way to put it. I was very addicted. I mean, even looking back, I didn't have good boundaries, didn't have anything. I was all in. I missed family reunions and things like this, stuff that I'm not proud of in my early 20s. When I was 23, 24, in my mind, I was definitely a top 100, 200 player, I would think, in the world, playing in some of the games I was. This is back a long time ago. But that came at a cost. I didn't have a great relationship with my family at the time. My emotions were crazy when you're winning and losing tens of thousands of dollars as a 23-year-old kid. You go through a lot of emotions. And so the lessons I had to learn with that, I think I broke 5 or 6 phones, chucking them across the room. I think my former girlfriend even bought me like a punching bag for my office because I would just go crazy. It's hard to process losing that much money or winning that much money, even the highs and lows. So that's something I'm grateful for poker too. It's helped me remain a lot more stoic as life happens and as life comes at you. Hey, you just understand, like, man, if you've played 15 million hands of poker, you've seen it all. You've been a 98% favorite to win all the money, and the guy hits the card and there's nothing you can do. And so you just learn to smile and say, you know what, I made the best decision I could. I'll reassess, I'll get my feedback loop, and I'll move on, right? So it's another reason I'm really grateful for poker in that way and kind of what it's taught me. Another cool lesson I think poker's taught me, man, is just ego. My ego was insanely out of control back when I was 23, 24. I mean, I bought a sports car in cash. I just thought I was the greatest thing since, I don't know, what's the saying, French toast, right? I don't know what it is, man. But yeah, I let it get to my head that, hey, I was just really good at this game, and making a lot of money, 300 plus thousand a year for a couple years in a row there. And I just let that go to my head, and I lost all sense of who I was, and I lost all sense of myself too. Like at the end of the day, man, I have more money now than I did back then, but it's like, dude, I'm a flip flops and a no shirt or maybe a tank top kind of guy. But I got into like buying Armani, going to fancy clubs and fancy stuff, and that just wasn't me at the end of the day. And so I'm really grateful for my poker journey and my lesson kind of through that to kind of come out the other end and really know, like, dude, if I have money, a lot of money, if God decides that I don't have a lot of money one day, I give it all away or whatever that is, I'm still going to be the same person. My life's still going to look the same day to day. That my happiness isn't based on whether I'm winning a game a lot or I'm not winning a game a lot. And again, it just helps me to remain more stoic and kind of check that ego. And at poker, I have a saying, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are either. And I think you can apply that to life in a lot of ways where, a lot of times, man, our boss congratulates us or whatever that is, and man, we're on top of the world, right? But it's like, at the end of the day, man, you just go in and execute and keep doing these things consistently, you'll get the results anyway. So it just kind of has helped me remain a lot more process oriented. Just every day, I'm going to put in the reps, do what I need to do, whether that be fitness, whether that be in relationships, whether it be finances, whatever that is. And I'm not even going to worry really about how much I'm up or the outcome, or people don't believe this, but even now playing online, I don't check my cashier but once a week. I don't really care if I win a session day to day. I really don't. Sometimes I'll go longer than that. I just care about me getting better and playing good and putting myself in good spots and making good decisions every day. That's how I approach the game. That's how I always have. And then you just look up and, 18 years later, I think I've had 2 losing months and made it close to, about 1.75 million now playing poker. So something that's definitely changed my life. I get to be home and around my family and with my kids because this is just been a great side income now for me for quite a long time. Another big thing I think poker has really taught me, and this is a huge one, is you got to have a mission bigger than yourself. And this is something I saw so much in the poker community, and that really comes back full circle to me about the ego and things like that. When your whole job, and I've seen this with traders and other people I coach now, is money and finances and wealth and accumulating, right? And so you wake up every day thinking, well, I'm a success if I win a lot, and then when you start to win a lot, well, you want to have this lifestyle and this other thing like that, right? So, a big turning point for me in that I'll never forget when I was kind of towards the end of my higher stakes journey of playing a little bit bigger games and stuff. One of my best buddies back then at the time, he was a well-known TV pro. He went broke at one point. I loaned him money, and he ran that up to well over $10 million, to be honest, and just crushed. And so I was on his good list because I loaned him money when he was down, and we became good buddies. And I'll never forget one day, this guy played on high stakes poker. He had a $700,000 car, something just crazy. I mean, mansion, women, everything he ever desired, this guy had, from poker. And I'll never forget one night, him kind of pulling me aside. It was after 3, 4 in the morning. We went to a nightclub, probably dropped 10 grand in some nightclub or something like that. And I remember him pulling me aside and just saying, like, dude, I'm more miserable now with 10 million plus than I was when I had nothing. And he's like, I thought this would make me happy. I thought getting to the, I used to tell myself if I could only make $1 million, I'll just be so happy then. Well, then it was 2, then it was 5, then it's 10. He's like, now I just don't even have a reason to get out of bed. All these parties, it's meaningless, right? And it really hit me, and it really struck a chord of like, if you're just trying to purchase your way to happiness, or you're just trying to buy the next new thing or make enough money, or, there's always going to be someone with more money. There's always going to be someone with more stuff. There's always going to be, whatever that is. And so if your happiness doesn't come from within, and as cheesy as that sounds, and I know people say, oh, happiness come from within, but truthfully, if you're not happy without the brand new sports car, you're not going to be happy with it for long. If you're not happy without the, all these other toys and things like that. So that's a big lesson poker has taught me, to stay a lot more grounded, and just that my happiness isn't going to come from stuff and these other things. So that was a pretty eye-opening moment for me. I still play quite a bit today. I still struggle sometimes with poker too. It was only a couple months ago. I think I went and played a big session at the Wynn. Made several $1,000s, and I remember driving home and like just feeling that ego build up again, and like, coming in and telling my wife, like, I'm going to play a lot more. I'm going to study a lot more. I'm going to do, and then I have to realize, like, look, my ultimate mission isn't just to win the most money, or to acquire the most wealth. I want to be a great dad. I want to be home more. And guess what? For me to play bigger games and me to do these, I couldn't do that, And so everybody has to make their own decisions and their own journey. I don't fault anyone else for, at different seasons in their life, being really addicted and playing a ton more and accumulating that so you can have more freedom later and things like that. But just in the season of life I'm in right now, it's not going to be the number one priority or things like that. The last question I want to address, this is a fun one. I actually got a hate letter about it a couple months ago, and among other things. How can you be a Christian and still play poker? I hear this quite a bit. I get this on DMs and stuff. And, to me, faith is so personal. It's my journey. It's my thing. I have a great relationship with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We chat every day. We're boys. And, if I felt like I was in devotions tomorrow and he told me, I don't ever want you to play again, that would be the end of my playing until I felt like he told me to play again. But I do feel like he gave me certain gifts, certain talents, and, poker's a fair game. That's one of the things I love about it. It's everybody's sitting down. Whoever's the most disciplined long-term, whoever can keep their kind of mental, mindset strong, and whoever's going to study the hardest and work the hardest, that's who's going to win the money in the long run, right? So I love every aspect, the competitive nature of that. Everything about it. It's very similar to trading, the market and things like that. But yeah, I don't know, when people ask me that, how can you be a Christian and still play poker? To me, it's no different than trading. It's no different than these other forms of money changing hands. This just happens to be we playing a card game, and whoever's going to be smartest and the wittiest and the most disciplined and all these things is going to end up winning in the long term. And I really enjoy that. But I think God's kind of gifted me for that. And this is where my whole thing is flipped in the last couple of years. I think God gave me that talent, and I say thanks pretty much every morning. Just thank you for giving me a sound mind, the ability to do this. I've seen some of the depths of poker and some dark spots in it. And I think God's helped me to be a light to a lot of people in that as well. And I don't necessarily know that's why he gave me the gifts or things like that. I know I always need to do a better job of giving back with that, whether that be my time, my energy, whatever that is. And I always try and make that a point. But I do think, when I study Jesus, when I look at him, man, he wasn't just hanging out at church all day. He was having dinner with some of the people that would have been playing in casinos and things like this nowadays. So I do enjoy that opportunity to get to go into some of those darker places and always be positive, be a light, be encouraging, all these things. So, that's kind of my poker journey a little bit. If you guys have any other questions, man, fire them down. I definitely recommend, if you're just kind of a small stakes, moderate player, maybe hire a coach that's a mid-stakes crusher. Wouldn't be me at this point in my life, but I can recommend a ton of them out there. If you're trying to take your game to the next level, or if you just enjoy playing, it's awesome, man. It can be cheap entertainment. You can play a game with buddies and maybe you lose $20, but you had a great night and it's a lot of fun. It's maybe more fun to you than going to see a movie. And that's what I love about poker. From the highest of the highest stakes to the lowest of the lowest stakes, it's just a fun social game. I feel like it's such a great time. So hope that answers any questions. You guys got anything else, man? Give me a comment below. Let me know what else you want to know about my poker journey. I write a lot of threads on it, and I am on Twitter at TyRomper1. That's just my poker account. Got 1,000 or so teammates on there too, and just post different hands and things like that. So I'll link that below if you guys want to check that out. But you guys go have the most blessed day of your life. Let's get after it, baby. Have a good one.